All right, so we're live, and today we're going to run through Sentrilock, and so we'll do a lot of hands-on. So I'll actually just give you guys send you one-day code so you can plug them in and stuff. And then we're going to go over safety with these, how they malfunction, what to do when you're out in the field, just to save time. Because what happens in the summer is these things fail. And it's 100 degrees outside, and everybody's trying to get in an air-conditioned house. Has anybody been there? Okay. It happens, and it sucks. Like, drips pouring down the top of your head, and you're trying to figure out why that thing doesn't work.
The worst thing for me is sometimes the reception, and then it doesn't work with the phone, and I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, that's so frustrating.
If you're far out, like, yeah, where there's no signal, that's a tough one. And you're constantly like,
oh yeah. The other day I had to run into the middle of the street because the street had reception, but when I went to, because I was in between houses, so I went to there, and it wouldn't work. So the client I was with, he's like, well, go back out in the middle of the street. So I did, and then I got enough reception long enough to go back to the box.
Yeah.
And then it worked.
And the crazy part is like calling too, you have to have reception to call them.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you, like, your signal will drop from no data, but you get a call signal, though you can call and get a code.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, and they'll answer pretty quick.
You can call Sentrilock?
Yep, and then they'll just ask you for your public ID and PIN number, and then they'll generate a number for you to punch in. It's like, hey, my data's not working.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And they'll send you a code. So that's a quick one too, and they're pretty quick about answering the phone.
Okay,
yeah.
Well, that's good to know.
It's like, if you click, when you call the number, it says like, I'm having problems opening the lockbox, and they'll bring you right to a rep, and they'll say what's the lockbox number and all that jazz.
Oh, okay.
All right, so let's see what's going on. I know we beefed up sales again last week because everybody came back to work, which was interesting. Turn this off. People do not know. Right, so we had a lull, I think last week when we got together, that was right before, or right after Thanksgiving, and then everybody beefed it up about their sales on that last week, right? Everybody got through hustling, but for the most part, everybody end of the month, and then rolled into the beginning of December, so we still ended up with another 1,000 homes, 1,100 sales in 7 days. And then the week before, I think we were looking at a short of like 700 sales because everybody stops working right before Thanksgiving. So when you write contracts, be aware of the holidays and put them afterwards because everybody just stops working. Things like that. And then new listings back on the market and so 8, 9, 10, 11. So going into contract about the same. So everybody's still taking advantage of the low interest rates as long as you can find it properly. So what's coming on, still coming off, and so keep that up. Last week we ran through Remind Marketing. If you haven't got a chance to see that, just click the little marketing banner on the left link. Good stuff. It's very inexpensive, very easy to create marketing material. So you can do digital ads straight from Remind. You can circle your subdivision, digital ads straight to Facebook users within that area or wherever you pick out, or you can do the mailers, which are relatively cheap too. It's like $76 for 110 in this subdivision that we were behind on the demonstration. we just circled the subdivision, dropped it in, created a marketing campaign, same with open houses, whatever kind of campaign you want to do. Also co-branding, there's co-broker branding in there, so if somebody wants to split it, $50 a pop, then you can send out large card flyers straight from your marketing. Any questions on the market? How's everybody doing out there in December? Kind of quiet. But if you can get buyers quickly, it's a really good time to get out there and find a property without competition. It is a really good time. Because everybody thinks it's slow. Same with listing. Get them on the market. Like I said, everything that's being listed is being sold. So your buyers shouldn't hesitate unless they're celebrating Christmas or Hanukkah, whatever the holiday is in December. But otherwise, this market's still continuing. And it's just a little bit more not. All right, so Sentrilock. Let's jump into this. Well, I'm going to go to my app because I rarely use the desktop, and I always use the app. So has everybody worked with one of these already?
Not that I have that one up there.
I have like hundreds of that. Let's go to my realtor apps. So Sentrilock is here. So again, you get your little hamburger right there, right? So you got your listings. Schedule right off the bat, it's just going to tell you to push enter, right? And then your Bluetooth will sense whatever box that you're opening. And then I programmed it for my fingerprint. So I don't know if my pin is, but my fingerprint works it. So if you press enter on that for me, Tess. Now it's getting GPS locations, triggering everybody else's. But that's not what I want to run through because you guys all know how to do that. That's easy, okay? So enter your PIN, enter your fingerprint, and then it unlocks the right? Okay. So now be aware sometimes these reset. So you want to close it after. Yeah, I'm getting notifications of lock boxes. So you want to close it afterwards so that it then you can go in and undo it with the key back when you do it. We used to be able to just leave them open, but some now, like some of the newer ones that aren't updated, will automatically close out on you.
Oh, then you won't be able to close it.
Yeah. So then,
Yeah, that happened.
and then the scenario on that is push that enter button, re-trigger it, and then it'll close for you when you go back. So. Yeah, just because they're not all the same. Like all mine, if you go to mine, you can just leave them open. I have them set to where it'll click close after you close it. But some other agents want that instant notification and when you leave, so they set it to where it doesn't click. So they're not everybody's on the same page with them. So just remember to close it up. Or if you do have issues, remember you got to push enter, reset it, then put the key in, wait for it to click. And then I click it. Well, so if it's open and it won't close, push enter, do the code, and it'll re-trigger the locking mechanism. So then now it'll be able to click after it runs its cycle. Same with the keeps reopening.
Yeah.
It keeps triggering me.
I'm like, I didn't push the button. What happened?
Okay, so
Maybe I need to
the
close
first one's my lock boxes. It's going to show me all of my lock boxes. Okay. So release shackle, when you push it, it's going to, I'm going to use this one for now since it's closest to it. You've got two options. You can be with the lockbox or you can get the shackle code. Okay. So say you want to send Tess to go unlock this for you, right? So that's where you want to do get release shackle code. Okay. You got to know which lockbox number it is. 1104945. It's actually on. So if it's far away, get release shackle code. I guess it doesn't let me do my fingerprint when I don't know when I have it screen sharing. So I'm actually going to turn on the screen sharing real quick. Get release. Sorry, I didn't plan this very well with 4 lock boxes on. I had no idea.
They all go
It was just-
crazy
it was
right
like
now.
always-
Yeah, mine keeps opening. We're gonna have like 50 emails today.
Yeah. So, all right, so now it's just telling me to hold on to the bottom before I hit OK. Which one was it? This one?
I think you're using mine right now.
Oh, it's because yours was on. Leave unassigned, cancel. I was trying to, that's the problem with the Bluetooth, it just senses whatever one's on.
You need this one?
It's okay. I was trying to show you guys that you can do this with the get release shackle code. So, it just wasn't letting me do the fingerprint on the thing. So, it's like the 1-day code. So if I wanted to send Tess out, I could share this code with her. And it says how to use this code. Press enter. Function 1, done. And gives her a code. So she can actually go, somebody else can go out and get this for you. You don't have to be there with your Bluetooth, even if it's your lockbox. So that's the get release shackle code. So that's why I always ask when I'm driving to Henderson or North Las Vegas, does anybody need anything? Because I can go grab your lockbox if you guys, anybody's in the office, I'm like, you guys need anything while I'm out there? It means, do you want me to pick up the lockbox for you? So, all right, everybody know how to take those off and open these. That's the easy part. That's the basic. Let's see if I can get to back up on screen. Okay. Now there's a couple other functions on here that I use all the time. Access logs. Who's going into my lockboxes? Okay. So here's all these beepings that I've been getting where you guys open all those. Tessa went in, Bianca went in. All right. and it tells you which lockbox it is, and then once you assign one to a property, it'll tell you which address it is. Does everybody know how to assign a property to it? So when you release this, it's going to ask you about, do you want to assign this to a property? Okay. So if your listing is active, you can search for it and put the MLS number in, and it'll find it for you. And then just hit assign to listing. And then every time you get an access, it'll put the address on there for you, so you know which property was being accessed by who. And if you just click it, it'll give you the full details and who to. Like this was accessed by an appraiser on Tuesday. Phone number, and email. So that's why I always tell my clients, and I'll pull it out on my phone and show them. Like this shows me, how often somebody comes in. It's like, oh, I don't want a lockbox on my property. I don't want a lockbox. Well, this is our best tool for keeping track of who's going in and out of that property, right? So we want to use those. And I just pull it up on my phone and show them. Look, the appraiser went in this date. I have their phone number. I can track them. We know who they are, what their MLS numbers are. So that's access logs. Okay. You know who opened it, who went in, and when. Right. Listing management. You can assign and unassign your lockboxes. Once you get them in there, it's going to tell you what's incomplete. So once you assign it, it's going to ask you not first or whatnot, because it'll warn, if you put these in there, it'll warn them, an agent, when they get there, whether they need to knock first, turn off lights. And here's again where you can assign your lockbox to your listing. Once it's active. This is a coming soon one, so I don't have a lockbox on it yet. You can also put alarm codes in. So if there's an alarm on the house, that way when the agent opens it, it reminds them, hey, there's an alarm on this property. It'll auto-populate the alarm code so they know how to reset it. Technology. Down here, if you wanted the homeowner to be notified, when you set it up, you would click that yes, and then you would add in the homeowner's cell phone so that they can be texted. I don't offer it because I don't need them worrying about one extra thing, but some people want to know when somebody's going into the property if it's a key call. So you can just quickly add them in. Hey, you'll be notified every time somebody uses this, as will I. So if you have any questions, you'll get a text message saying so-and-so has entered the property. There are people like that like to know everything that's going on with the property. Yeah. So you just accommodate them. The tools are there. Why not? It's their property, not yours. All right, so that's my listings. Access logs. All right. So my lock boxes. All right. Does everybody know what a CBS code is?
No.
CBS. Ever see on a listing it says CBS? So that's a call before showing code.
Oh.
Okay. So if you, it's not vacant key any, it's key call, right? So you can set your box to have a call before showing, so that people aren't just walking up and wandering in, because agents like to do that. Oh, there's a lockbox. I'm just going to go to this property. Well, if there's a CBS code on it, Who's got 9590?
Oh, we,
Okay. So if you set it to with the CBS code, um, now before you can open it, I have to send you this code to type in. So you have to, it'll say your app, and then when you get to it, it'll prompt you for a code. Does anybody have this
push the
issue?
enter button, and then
Yeah,
it'll
so
prompt
no,
you.
when you walk up like normal, you push enter, you do your fingerprint, then it's gonna say enter CBS code.
Oh, on your phone.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
so you have to have this number available. So we're supposed to notify you on the MLS if there's a CBS code, and then you're supposed to be able to text the agent for the code. This is how you would share that if you set a CBS code on that, and then I'd have to share it with you before you can get in. So you have to call me
Every
before.
single time.
It's a call before show.
Yeah.
So if it's that type of a listing, key call. Key call means just courtesy call. I'm coming by, right? Call before show means, and it's got CBS on it. That means you have to get this code before you can go in. So you're letting the agent know I'm coming by. Usually you'll see this on those agents that want the proof of funds before you go show a $1.5 million or $2 million property. Those are generally the agents that'll put a CBS code on it, just an added layer of protection for the bigger properties. So I would say 800-900, or if somebody's got a gun collection in the house, or gold bars or silver bars locked in the safe, I would add a CBS code. It's like, hey, are you not going to move the guns or the silver or gold? And they say no, then I would add a CBS so that you know who's there. So, but if you get it, you'll know right away because it won't let you access the box. So you can put the CBS code on my listings. All right, so now you've got another thing that takes a while with these is if they're not updated to the right firmware, it'll try and make your phone do it for the agent, so it's updating their firmware. So before I put them on a property, I always check the firmware. That's the bottom. So every time, let's see. It's because I'm screen sharing. But before I go put the lockbox on, I'll hit the update firmware and check it, make sure it's up to date. That way it's faster for the agents to get in. Otherwise, your first agent that comes out there is going to have to sit through a 1 or 2 minute cycle of updating the lockbox because it's just a little computer. Okay. My settings. I'm going to go into this agent safety. Is one of the key points I wanted to get out to you guys. So Touch ID is on. That means it's my fingerprint is active. So you guys can set that so you don't have to type numbers in if you wanted to do Touch ID or Face ID. I think Face ID works too on your Apple phone. So agent safety. You see where I just went and clicked it? Oops. My settings. Agent safety. Enable agent safety. Okay. So every 90 seconds after you open that key door, it's going to send you an alert, and you have to click that I'm okay. Okay. and then it starts shrinking, right? So if you don't acknowledge the second alert, whoever's in the safety notification contacts, let's say it's Kaden, you can add as many people as you want in there. I can add in Kaden and Chance. Correct. So these guys know if they get a, you gotta let them know that you're gonna put them in there, because it'd be like, if you add me in there, and I'm like, what? What do you mean you're showing property? I don't know that I'm on your safety notification contact. So let them know that I'm not showing properties. I'm adding you to my safety notifications. If I don't click that I'm okay, 90 seconds and then 60 seconds, it's going to alert these guys. So then they're more likely going to pick up the phone and start calling you like, hey, did you forget I was on your safety notifications? If you don't answer, then they're probably going to call the police, I would suggest. Mm-hmm. But what this is going to do, it's going to notify them where you're at. So if this lockbox is on 123 Apple Street, and that was the last access, and you didn't reply to the first alert and the second alert, then, hey, I'm at 123 Apple Street. Whether they drive to 123 Apple Street or they send help to 123 Apple Street, you guys have to have that discussion with your safety contacts. Okay? But easy setup, right? If you're out showing by yourself, you might as well have it on. And that way somebody knows where you're at. Not stuck in a house or in a well at the bottom, putting lotion on your skin. Right? Silence of the Lamb. Oh my gosh. Wild Bill. Okay, watch Silence of the Lambs. It's a 90s flick, but yeah, let's see. Hannibal Lecter? No?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Really? Nobody?
It's a worthwhile film from the
Yeah.
90s to watch. All right, so I need to take Chance and Cody out. Any questions on the safety check? Okay, this is highly suggest using it, especially if you're out showing a stranger that you've never met. I don't ever suggest showing to a stranger you've never met. They should have come into the office. We call it CTO. Come into the office. If they're into the office, you get them pre-approved. Now you know they're clients. If it's, well, I got cash and meet me at this house, I'll buy it today. You know what happens. Yeah. Turn this on. Okay. Turn on your safety check. You know, they text you their Bitcoin bank or their EFT account. Like, oh look, I got $1 million. Show me this property. I get it. It happens. Turn this on. Okay. Or have somebody meet you or go with you. I never suggest meeting anybody that you don't know at a property. So this helps you guys. All right, and that's in my settings. Agent safety. What else do you guys need to know about this? Access codes. So again, you have leash shackle, assign, unassign. It's always going to prompt you whenever you pop that thing off if you're unassigning or assigning, because it means you're taking it off of a property or you're going to put it onto a property. But you can manually do it on this one. The next important one is the get access code. So what was your number?
9590.
What if it's going to let me do it? Oh, this is it. won't let me do the fingerprint on the screenshot.
Well, safety feature.
I guess so.
It should be the pin instead of the.
Yeah, but I don't know.
No, I'm saying they shouldn't let you share the screen and keep the pin.
Right, it should be opposite, right? That's what I was thinking. Oh, it's got to be assigned. I forgot. Right, so let's go back to the screenshot. So what's popping up for me is the lockbox has to be assigned to generate a one-day code. So it's got to be one of the ones that are assigned to a listing already. But this is how you let if your inspector doesn't have MLS access, or your appraiser, which blew my mind last month that an appraiser did not have access. Yeah, they set an appointment at 1 in the afternoon. Got there and said, nobody met me at the property. I go, it's vacant. You can go in when you want. And it was like 1:30 that they finally called me and said, hey, nobody's here. You're going to meet me at the property. And I'm like, it's empty. Go right in. There's a lockbox. And they did not have access to it. Yeah. So be aware of appraisers, because there's people that are getting into the appraisal business have to do a mandatory, what's it called when you work under somebody? Apprenticeship for, I believe it's 100 appraisals. And that can take them, I think it's 100 appraisals or a year and a half.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's 100 appraisals or a year and a half apprenticeship before you can actually get your appraiser's license. So these appraisal companies, if you pull them all up on the state website, 90% of them are all out of state appraisal companies that just assign it to a licensed appraiser in the state. And those people have their minions that are still learning that haven't gotten their appraisal license. But I'm starting to notice, I guess they're sending the minions out to do the measuring and photography, and then they come back and then they compile the appraisals. So, which I mean, it doesn't cost much to get MLS access. I don't know why they have all of their minions get access. But it works well when you're trying to get things done. Carpet cleaners, housekeepers, moving companies, especially when it's empty. You basically put who it's assigned to. Of course, what date? So, say they want to come out in 2 days, and you hit get one day code, and there it is. So now there's a how to use this in case you don't know how to use it, or there's a share with. And then you just go right into text messages or however you're sending it. And I'm going to send it to Cody. And it gives them full the code, or the lockbox number, the code, what date it's good for, and how to do it. Okay? Oops. Sorry, too many things on my phone. Any questions about one day code? And it works perfectly. And then you know the date that it was used. The only thing you don't get is if they don't, is it won't send you the usage until somebody that has data that connects to this Bluetooth sends a signal from this box. So if you give it to Joe Schmo and Joe Schmo doesn't have MLS access, and then I come in 3 hours later and access the box, then it'll send you a notification that your one day code was used. Okay. So there's no instant gratification on the one day code if they don't have the service. Inspectors like it because sometimes they don't have their access codes. And repair people, roofing companies, they all like those. All right. Help! I can't get into the box. Like I said, if you hit that help button, dial them real quick. They'll pick up and give you a code pretty quick. Like if your phone's working but your data's not working, that's the easiest. And it's this one here. Those guys will give you the showing access. I don't know what my schedule is. I don't use it. Does anybody use it?
What?
My schedule? I don't know what it syncs with.
I use the showing.
I wonder if it syncs with showing time. I don't use it, so I have no idea what to tell you guys about my schedule. So. I have RPR on. I guess showing time might be a better interview listing integration. It's just when you access it, it's going to say, do you want the listing information? If you're not carrying a sheet already or you have your tour already in hand. And that way when you get to it, you open it, and then your listing will pop up on your screen. Settings. Boxes. All right, let's see if there's anything else. Contractor codes. So if you guys are rehabbing or having work done to a property, you can set contractor codes. So if you have a pool guy coming out, right, and he's maintaining the property once a week, you can set contractor code for the pool guy. Then there's a landscaper that needs, I don't know why they would need access inside. Say there's or housekeepers that come by once a week. You can set a contractor code for the housekeeper to come by once a week, and or a contractor code for whoever else would maintain something in the house, HVAC guy or something like that. But during a listing period of magnitude, of a long magnitude, that you need contractors to come in. So say you listed the Sultan of Brunei's house right down the street here, right? And they probably have like 20 contractors coming into that house. You can set a contractor code for each one because it's probably going to take you 3 or 4 years to sell that big monster of a mansion down here on the corner. But you can set them to the lock boxes. That's what a contractor code is. Help before showing. Take or remove ownership. So I don't know why they have this on here, because if you were to buy these from someone else, and I suggest doing it because it's probably cheaper. So if you've run into an agent that needs to unload 5 boxes, because I think these are $120 a pop at Galvart. Is that right? I think it's $120. If you can find them, like I probably have 20 of these, but I picked up 10 at like $50 a pop. Do it. Like, if an agent's getting out of business, like, hey, you're getting out of the business, I'll buy 3 here or 4 here, you got 2, 3 here. They'll sell them for $50. So, uh, and then store them. But then you got to bring them down to Galvar, and then they'll reassign them to you once you take ownership of them. They'll contact the other agent, make sure they've sold them, and then you have them. And then whenever we switch boxes, and I've been through, and Judy's probably been through it too. How many different kinds of boxes have we had? The blue, remember the blue one?
In my lifetime,
We had the
a lot of them. But then,
mechanical.
yeah, you used to have to carry that thing around and you didn't have it.
Well, we had one that was the same color. Remember, it had you shoved the thing into the prongs and then typed the code in.
Yeah.
Then there was the blue one that you took that same thing, but you shined a light in the corner and it would drop the box, and those always got stuck. So far, these have been the better upgrade so far because they're durable. And they switch the batteries for you, or they send you batteries. Anyways, but if you get them, as you move through your career, they just keep giving you the new ones. So, and they become more and more expensive. Like the blue ones, I think were $100. These are $120, and the ones before that were $75, and so forth. Inflation. All right. Any questions on the lockbox? Trying to see if I remember everything here. So this one's assigned to a property. And this is how I have it. Knock first, leave card, no alarm. And you guys can change those as you need. Same with the removing shoes. I don't know if you guys have had a listing like that. Take your shoes off. Usually I'll just buy those booties. Like, hey, I don't want shoes in my house. And then you just buy the contractor booties at Home Depot. Buy a box of them for now. Because it's kind of awkward when you're showing to an 80-year-old grandma and you ask her to take her shoes off. She's like, what? Yeah.
First, so they can put it back on.
Yeah. Call before showing. Trying to see if I can show you guys how to turn it on from here. So I have to set. Anyways, it's all done from here. You can. There is a desktop app. I used it for about 5 minutes until this all became integrated in your phone. So everything's just touch and learn. We all turned our cards back in, so there's no more card access. It's all digital with the phone. Any questions on how to turn the safety on? That's probably the big thing I wanted you guys to take away from it today, and how to alert people. I think that's it. That's all I have for Sentrilock. So if you guys need them, I've got like 20 of them. So if you need to borrow one, just let Bonnie know. And then I can take that serial number and assign it to the listing for you guys, and then add you as a watcher. So if you don't want to spend $120, like I said, I got a whole drawer of them in the back office. Just let Bonnie know so that I can assign one to you guys, or assign one to the property, and then add you as a contact. Where I showed you where to add contact, I would add you guys in, and you guys
Well, you
would.
get notifications all the time too,
Yep.
so then you're gonna be getting a bunch of.
Yeah, the only thing is, like, if you're using mine, you can't generate the 1-day cut.
Okay.
I have to generate the 1-day cut. So, or the CBS. So I would say, no, I'm not going to do a CBS, because then I'll get a text message every time somebody wants a call before showing. But actually, for just actual usage, if you needed it, I would just add you in as the contact, and you would get notification every time somebody used it. So you do miss out on the feedback, but I think I can add you to the feedback. So I do just the boilerplate. How would you rate this listing 1 through 5? How would you rate the pricing 1 through 5? And then I could forward those to you as far as if you wanted the feedback. But I just use the boilerplate ones. So that's it.
I was
That's pretty
wondering if you can tell us what the other apps do you have on your folder?
good. For my realtor apps,
Yeah. Because last time you showed us the MLS stuff. I mean, not last time, some other time.
so I keep, well, you don't need that much. I keep Sentrilock, MLS Touch, and Shine Time. MLS Client, that is the app. That's my app that I didn't rename because I keep it all generic. Because when I show you guys, I expect you guys to create your own app. So this is RPR is sorry, you can see all my text messages here.
Oh, the Outpost Property Resource, right?
Yeah, RPR is if you need more data. So I keep this up because I go out to a lot of commercial buildings, and I need to know what they're sitting in. So it really doesn't pertain to much to the residential side, but it helps if I want zonings and stuff behind RPR. Helps me as far as creating reports. The biggest one is this MLS Touch for you guys, because I'm just going to my listing. So say you're out showing this property and they like it, right? Of course it's of course it's under contract, but I mean, say they like it. The beautiful thing about this is you can hit comparables right off the bat. And half a mile, or you can see what's on market. You say I had that on market option also. And I can immediately take these 12 comparables and send. Select all, send. It's going to ask me where I want it or who I want to send it to. So MLS Touch is the other thing. And then the other thing I preach about MLS Touch is your app. Once you brand and share, sorry, am I moving too fast? Brand and share. You basically put your logos in, pick your colors, and then you text that to your client. Okay, so now that appears in there as this. Well, it's going to send you a code once they download your app, and then you can like text them the code.
But they would have to have this app as well, right? By this time?
Yeah, so let's see if I can get to it. So if I share this link to you, you're going to get it, you're going to click it, right? It's going to take you to Google. It's automatically set to my listing. I'm just going to click a listing because this is faster. So back to comparables, it's going to give you the option to check your price range, plus or minus 5%. How far out you want to go. So if you're in rural, you probably want to go, a couple miles out or up to a mile. But I'm sure you can find them within a half mile. And then whether or not you want the same number of bedrooms to match. So if it's a client that's shopping for a 4-bedroom house and they only want to see 4-bedroom houses, I would comp a 4-bedroom house just so they can see it. Or like this is under contract, you can click the on market and see what's similar in the same area. And there's a couple actives here. So now I can go and hey, let's go look at this property. It's like right around the corner, 31 days on the market. It's 310, not 305. And then show instructions. Tenant occupied. So MLS Touch is very valuable while you're out in the field if you have a client with you.
Maybe we can do a motivation Monday with MLS Touch.
Yeah, I can do it again. Yeah. We're doing it right now. So brand and share. Continue once you pick out, your logo, your color. Hit apply colors and logo. This is what your you can look at what everything looks like once you set it up. So when they download your app, this is what they're looking at. Okay. So they got a mortgage calculator, my agent, that's you when you set it up and send it to them. And this sits as just a little tile on their phone. So hey, so I always say, well, while you guys are, now that we have you pre-approved, download my app. You can shop for homes that are currently in the MLS. So that's one day faster than Zillow, 2 days faster than Redfin. It's actually a direct link to everything that hits our market before any consumer websites hit it. So what's the first thing that client's going to do? They're going to download your app. Now you are like branded into their phone as the realtor. And if they need to call you, they can call you. This is a preview, but they can hit that. It's going to go right to all of your information that you uploaded. Map searches, advanced searches, saved searches. So your saved searches that you are sending them should be in there. So if they're under 305, 1,600 plus square feet, 3-bedroom plus, that's going to be one of their saved searches. And then they'll be able to communicate directly with you through this messenger app too. So you can message them directly. And then you're looking at everything simultaneously with them, whether they're in their email or on their app. At this point, it's mainly the app. you send them something by email, this is how it's going to come through. With your information and logo or your picture, however you guys set it up. Mine, I just do it generic so you guys can see what it looks like. Like I said, so here, once you set it up, preview it, make sure it's everything that you like. Share my app. That, when you click it, takes them to this screen, which is install my app, right? Me, company, phone number. There's the code. So whether they're Apple or Google, I think if you hit install app, it just figures out what phone you're on. Then they can copy and paste this. It doesn't do it once casting, but they put that code in under should bring them to this page. Once they download it, then you get their first name, last name, phone number, and email. Now they're in a database unless they skip it. And then there's the app. So my agent, I need to call Corey real quick. Or I need to do a search. Or here, what's my mortgage? 305. I can't put 30,000 down, so I can put, what's FHA, 10,000 down. Now I know my principal interest is 1477. 30 years, 1325. So I get calculators so they can calculate their principal and interest. Map search. I want to look at this house behind me. Why is this listed by somebody else and not you guys? It's right behind the office. Of all people, homie. So if they have a handy dandy little app from you, that makes the most sense, right? And they can always reach out to you because you have it branded. You put your picture or your logo or whatever you guys do. But that is the MLS plan. That's the one. That would be this one. So that's how it would look in your app. Core Logic's the other one that I keep. But with MLS Touch, that's usually the one that I go to, which is you guys get all of the detail sheets on that. So that's what yours looks like, and then you saw what your clients looks like, and then you can communicate with all your clients in the chat if you wanted to work that much. Okay. Any questions on MLS? Yeah.
So do you have, because I have MLS Touch in my phone, right? So then I would send the client app to them as when they're downloading the MLS client.
Yes, which is share. Share my app. So if you take that link, it's always the same, right? So I would say if you're even spending money on marketing, take that, attach it to your email where it says download my app, so that they have somewhere they can click.
Could you put it in like social media, like up in your like?
Yeah. Link in bio, right? You see that a lot, link in bio. So download my link to my app, download my app to shop for homes, and then however you want it. It should be branded to you once you create it,
Right.
and then, but you got to make it of value. You know, you want them to download yours, not Zillow's app, or yours, not Redfin's app, because all they're doing is selling your client's information to another agent. So if you explain that to them, most of them understand that. That this is just directly to me, and we can message each other and look at homes as they hit the market. Yeah. So the app works good. I'm an advocate for it. It doesn't, I'd say it doesn't cost you anything, but it costs you guys $800 a year.
Right.
Plus your MLS, what is it, what did they raise it to? Yeah, well then plus your quarterly MLS dues, or your bi-annual MLS dues. Anyways, $2,000 a year, roughly. So you might as well use it to your advantage. And they're created so that everything leads right back to you and not to anyone else. That's the problem we had when we started selling information, not selling information, but giving information to Zillow, Redfin, and all the websites. Is this used to be our organization. I remember that. Judy remembers that. And we were the ones with the information, and you had to come to us to get the information. And we're slowly clawing our ways back to that by creating self-promoting items for you guys, which just shares our information. So that's that. That's Sentrilock. That's about it. You're self-promoting, guys. So keep self-promoting, and use your database to keep self-promoting. That's all I can suggest. And then keep building your client base. And it works that way. All right. Any other questions? All right. If you do, you know where to find me. Call me, text me. If you need to borrow one of these, let me know. We usually have tons of them. And that is it for today.
Thank you, Corey.
Thank you guys for coming.
It's fun.
Yes, thank you.
Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.